are you today?
Fine. How's
Good.
it going?
Oh, pretty good. Tell me, I just got here to Las Colinas, our new building, and I love it. And I'm meeting you for the first time. What's the name of your business? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Smooth Cuts by Ray J is the name of the business. I actually been out here in business in Urban since '97. So I like this particular location because it's right off 635, and I feel like it's easier, convenient, for the client or customer to find me right off the freeway.
So where'd you come from? Were you in business for yourself then, or were you with the salon?
Well, actually, before COVID, I was in this location for 3 years already before COVID hit. So COVID hit, we got shut down. 2 days later, the building burned.
So, you were here at Hightower.
Yeah, I was at Hightower when it was Hightower.
Oh, wow, okay. How much different is it now that you came back 3 years later? I mean, that's crazy. So you were here doing business, and then what did you do for the 3 years until you came back here?
Well, I just relocated, like maybe 5 minutes away from here.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was gonna be just maybe a year or two, but it ended up being 4 years. So finally, after this place opened back up, and the opportunity came, I came back. I had to come back.
Cool, that's cool. When you say I had to come back, was it just like, felt like home or what?
It felt like home, and then two, again, like I said, this location, I feel like it's the best location in Urban.
Yeah.
Being off of 635 in MacArthur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is good.
High traffic area.
Yeah, it is a good location.
Yeah.
So what kind of clients do you see? Do you see men and women? And just tell us about your art.
I see men, women, children. I cut all races.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's unusual though. You're the first one I've met that does all races.
Well, coming up, I started cutting hair at 14.
Oh.
Grabbing my brothers and relatives and stuff like that. So by the time it was time for me to go to barber college, I already knew how to cut, my people per se. So doing barber college was like bring me all the straight hair. So that's why I learned to cut, the different races. So when I finished.
So what's the main difference, do you think, between the two? Like between Jasmine's hair and my hair?
Well, at this point, at this stage, it's all the same to me now.
Do you have to cut it different?
For most straight hair, the guys are wanting to fade, but at the top you still have to seal the trim on top.
Okay.
Versus, just clipper cutting.
Oh, so it takes more time. Tell me, you do men and women, kids. Like, what's your primary clientele? Is it men?
The primary is men, mostly between 40 on up.
Okay.
Because I'm older, so I tend to understand. Kind of relate a little more with the older gentlemen.
So how do you get new clients?
Through the website. I have my own website.
Oh, you do?
People Google me, barbershop near me. I just make sure
and you pull up on Google?
I just make sure that, I have an internet presence, and I just get the people that way. Yeah.
How do you get to the internet presence?
Well, I've been on the internet. Been on the internet since 2004.
Okay.
So
same domain?
Yeah, same domain name, my own domain name. So it kind of organically worked its way up to the top since 2004.
Takes a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What would you recommend to people just coming into this business that want to move over to a suite of their own eventually? Or what are some things that you learned along the way, that mistakes maybe that you learned that you could offer some help with?
Well, I just remember.
I
just remember in barber college, I had to go back. Location is always the key. You want to make sure that you're in a location, with high traffic, if you can be, if you can afford to be, high traffic.
Well, salon suites really don't have a lot of traffic.
Well, you gotta have,
but you gotta earn your traffic.
When I first got out of barber college, I came and looked at high towers.
Oh, you did?
I came and looked at it.
You just came right straight out.
No, I knew that it's gonna take me some time.
Okay.
Cause I went to barber college in Fort Worth, came over to Urban, that's where I wanted to work. But when I looked at high towers, I said, I can't go in there with nothing. So I had to wait, build my clientele up, and then when you have enough people, then you can come and try.
About 7 years to build it up?
Yes,
before you came here?
About 7 years, had a nice base.
Do you have people coming in and out a lot, or they stayed with you? Do they just stay with you now, or do they move around a lot? Like, how often do you have to replenish your supply, so to say?
Well, you know, with the moves, you tend to lose and you tend to gain too.
Mhm.
Just depends on your work.
Right.
I just feel that, you know, lucky that I have an internet presence since 2004. So it's kind of like some of the restaurants. You can come and eat here today. If you don't, tomorrow it's fine because
right.
Still
I mean, it's vital for any business. I mean, that's your
Especially
only form
right
of
now.
advertising, except for referrals.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of referral business, or are you getting just a lot? How many clients would you say if you have great advertising and you know it, right? And you have a website you've built and you put the years behind it. And I know I'm in marketing. I head up marketing, so I know all how it works. So what would you say your percentage of new traffic is from the internet?
It's probably the bulk. The bulk
Is
of
it?
the new. Yeah, the bulk of the new is from the internet. Again, like I said, people just passing through, and you know how
Barber
we
near
do.
me, yep. Mm-hmm.
Barber near me, you know, grocery store, gas station near me, whatever. You know.
Right.
That's-
On maps,
that's-
local maps,
Yeah,
right?
local maps.
Like, how do you get them in the door? Like, they could, like, seriously, they
I
could
think-
sing tight.
It's like some of the other business. People look at reviews.
Okay,
You know, read reviews and
Right.
see how much bad there is. Because that's what we're
Exactly.
looking for, the bad. You know, if the good outweigh the bad, then they'll probably give you a chance.
yeah.
And so,
So, speaking of bad reviews, everybody gets them. It doesn't matter. They usually are pushed down with more good reviews, and we all have that instance where a client comes along. What do you do if you encounter an unhappy client? Like, what would you do about that? Do you have an instance that you
Well-
can talk about for other people to learn how to manage that? Because it's
Well,
hard.
a lot of people sometimes they'll say, you know, hey, good job.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get home, then that's when they slam you. You know, but if you know, if they're open for conversation about it, and first of all, I see if there's any adjustments I can make
Mm-hmm.
to make them happy. After I apologize and say that I'm sorry for doing this or doing that, or not doing this or not doing that.
You used to work on your siblings, and like, what made you like fascinated about cutting hair?
My mom, she did neighborhood at that time. Jerry curls was popular.
Oh, Jerry
So
curls.
she was good at doing that, and me being the oldest,
Uh-huh.
when I did have hair,
Mm-hmm.
I was the guinea pig, so to speak.
Oh.
So with her doing different things, it kind of got me tied into, you know, wanting to fascinated with hair and all that type of stuff. So I just said, you know what, I think I want to cut hair. So I just started cutting my own hair.
Okay,
And
that's where
once
you
I got
started.
good at fading my own self, then that's when I started grabbing everybody else.
Friends.
And she was the one that said, hey, I think you do good enough to get out of my kitchen. You know,
Yeah, you gotta
and
do something with
go
it.
to school.
Mhm.
My dad he washed me, and he was the one to say, maybe you need to try cutting a different hairstyle. You can't cut this hairstyle on everybody.
Right.
So, you know, change it up, fade it out. Because I think at that time we was doing the hard line and then letting you go. But he was
Oh,
like,
yeah, I remember,
some
like the
people want to
80s
blend
set.
it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was him, and then, you know, both of them was like, go for it. And so that's what made me
That's
want to
cool,
go to
you got the
school.
support.
Mhm.
So speaking of trends, what's the trend now for, what do you see? What do you see people asking for?
Right
Nappy. Like
on
the,
top, or either twist, you know, dreads or whatnot.
uh-huh.
So mainly it's the size, just fade the sides out.
What do you mean
And
fade
leave
the
it.
sides?
You know, blend the sides, you know, ball fade, close fade
Okay.
on the sides, and then they just let the top just do whatever it wants to do. I think
I
that's the
see.
main thing, the
So
main trend
is
right
it?
now.
How long has that been going on? Cause is that younger generation or not? Is it your generation? Our generation? I mean,
No, that's the younger
that's
generation.
what I thought.
The older guys, they just pretty much want a haircut so they
They
can
just want some hair.
get to work, you know, to look good at work, church, whatever.
Right.
You know, just a nice standard haircut.
Mhm. Right.
And that's what I usually tend to, you know, want to deal with. Just a standard haircut. Since I'm cutting all races,
Right.
let me just give everybody a standard haircut and make them happy.
What would you do with this? I'm just kidding.
I could do some things with that.
Really? All this hair?
I can cut it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, well, we're not doing all that right now, so that's cool. I'm good with that. So let me ask you, do you think that being a barber moving forward as we continue growing as people, do you see this as being a lucrative industry? as far as their direction?
I think it's always gonna be lucrative.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, people are looking for good customer service,
Yeah.
and
They demand
I
it.
think you can have all the bells and whistles, all the new equipment, but I think it boils down to your customer service, which is just the basics of, you know, trying to respect people's time,
Yes.
you know, and stuff like that. I think you'll win that way. But this business is a crazy business, but it's a good business.
How's it crazy?
It's crazy. How's it crazy?
Yeah, how's it crazy?
Dealing with people.
Oh, I know, they can be crazy, huh? We all can be, especially when it comes to our looks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you cut off a little, I said 2 inches, not 3, you know? That can
It
get
can be
kind
a
of
big
crazy.
deal. It can be a big deal.
It can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who complains more, men or women?
Well, let's see. Probably the women.
Yeah, I thought so, because
Probably so.
we're very vain. So, Ray, what sets you apart from the other barbers out there? Because there's a lot of them. What's your specialty?
Well, first of all, I believe the experience, you know, helps out a whole lot. And then two, just taking time, listening to the customer or client and giving them what they want, working hard, trying to give them what they want, being on time like we're supposed to be,
Yeah.
and getting your client in and out. I think that's one of the biggest things with my clientele. Well, I know that's the type of clientele that I built. They just want to get in and get out.
Okay.
And if you can get them in and get them out with a nice, good haircut, good, decent haircut.
Well, where is it that people, how did they find you besides Google? Do you have a website? What's the name of the website?
Well, they can look me up at smoothcuts.net. Smoothcuts.
Cuts.net. Okay.
Look online, and you'll get a confirmation email from me, and then I'll just see you at your appointed time. That's just
How many people call and say, how much is it? That's the first question.
I
Like,
think I got everything on the website.
you do your
Once you go to my
transparent,
website,
Good.
you'll see everything. All
That's
you
good.
need to do is yay or nay from you. That's all.
That's
needed.
right. That's right.
Book it, come on in at your appointed time, and you know, get taken care of.
So with all the inflation, have you had to raise your prices, or would you? I mean, all of us are losing right now, but a little bit.
Maybe a small increase, but you know,
Nothing-
not trying to rob
nothing.
nobody. or
Right,
nothing
right.
Like that. But
I'm just
yeah.
wondering, has it impacted your clients too?
You'll hear about layoffs and stuff like that, but eventually it can come, you know,
It'll
come
back
our way
around.
back.
Yeah, it'll come back around again. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you suffered since COVID. You'd mentioned COVID, and you know a lot of businesses went out, and this is when the salon suites actually took off.
Mm-hmm. Even though COVID hit, some of us were still working.
Oh yeah, I know. So was
Some
I.
of us were still working, and it allowed us to keep communication with your clients, keep
Got
the
it.
relationship going.
Everybody
with
always
clients.
needs their haircut.
Yeah,
You know, you
so
have to have it. It's an
I was
essential.
fortunate enough, you know, to be not having a family.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was able to work some things out.
Sure. That's awesome. I think that's great. Yeah. Another great interview with the Mattison Member Spotlight Series. And you can find Ray at smoothcuts.net.